At number 13, ginseng. Ginseng is an adaptogen, member of the pepper family. It's legendary, used throughout Asia, Korea, Japan, China, and Russia. Several different varieties. Red ginseng, Siberian ginseng, Jamaican ginseng, and American ginseng. And where does American ginseng come from?
Wisconsin.
That is correct, young lady. It comes from Wisconsin. Why? Because Korean immigrants came to the United States and they settled in Wisconsin. It's kind of hilly. Ginseng does well on hills. I've flown over Wisconsin in a plane, and you can see that they have large sheets of some kind of plastic or polymer to block the sun, to let the sun in, but not direct sunlight. Ginseng hates direct sunlight. The water, when it rains, comes and it runs off. And gun turrets at all four areas, because ginseng is extremely, extremely valuable around the world, and there are ginseng nappers. I've read cases where they were grown to ginseng. Usually they like to harvest at 7 years. You know, they're protecting the ginseng. One day they leave everything unguarded. Next day, all the ginseng's gone. They'll come with giant harvesters and rip all the ginseng out of the ground, take $200,000, $300,000 worth of ginseng. I have an interesting story. I had a friend from Peru. He came from a small town named Mayobamba. Very, very small town. Some distance from Lima in Peru. Real smart guy, worked for the Palmer House. A funny thing is, he showed me a picture one time, and they were having a parade around the town, and they had the pig dressed up in a bow tie, and they had the chicken dressed with a ribbon on the head, and they were parading. One guy's playing, the guy's parading around the town, and he says, "Look, this is the celebration." I go, "Celebration for what?" He says, "The town just got electricity." And I said, "How long ago was that taken?" He says, "Last week." So, where was I going with this? I was telling him about ginseng. He's very interested in herbs. He says everything grows in that portion of Peru. So I was telling him about ginseng. He said he knew this place called La Salle Ginseng on Lawrence Avenue in Chicago, run by an old Korean woman. So he took me there. This Korean woman spoke no English. You had to point to the menu. This. But really you didn't have to point. She only had one thing. She had a complete meal made of ginseng. Complete meal made of ginseng. She had a little chicken stuffed with ginseng, ginseng in the soup, ginseng tea, marinated ginseng, a shot of ginseng sake, and a little piece of roasted ginseng. And $10, no tax. She didn't understand tax. So, because I tried to get another shot of the ginseng sake, she goes, no, $10. I ate all this ginseng, and when it came out of there, I felt like I was on cocaine. I was ready to go home, clean out the house, clean out the basement, start working on another PhD, everything, And so a couple of years later, I went there, but the woman had died, and her daughter was there, who was more savvy, and there was one little tiny piece of ginseng floating in the soup, because ginseng's expensive. She was looking at a television set, Korean soap operas. She'd be looking and laughing, at the Korean soap operas, but she was giving away too much ginseng. Her family had a ginseng farm in Wisconsin. Most people didn't realize she had roots in jars this big, preserved, worth a fortune, just hanging around in this old shop. If you knew it was worth, you'd come in there and steal it, But I remember that. I'm driving home going, I gotta get home, gotta clean that place out right now. So, ginseng does have that effect. But I haven't had that effect with the ginseng that I've ordered, American ginseng. I've ordered it. I have it, I don't get that effect. So I use Siberian ginseng, which produces that effect, at least in me. And I get the best quality Siberian ginseng. I am not going to tell you how difficult it is to get what I get, but June don't like it, because a lot of times she's got to send things back, and you can't order from one supplier. You got to order from 50 suppliers, because this guy's ginseng is good, but his ginkgo is no good. You got to order ginkgo from this guy. It's a big hassle. I'm going to stop doing it. I get another year. I'm going to retire from that stuff. Okay, you can use ginseng in root form and boil it, or powder form. I use it in powder form. I got no time for dealing with the roots, and where am I going to get it before it rots? You can try growing ginseng, but it's not going to grow well around here. You need hills, and you need filtered sunlight for ginseng to grow. But if you get some land and plant ginseng, and, or better yet, plant black walnut trees, and you're a young person, and you keep an eye on these black walnut trees, by the time they're 25 years old, they'll be worth a fortune to your children. There are black walnut nappers in the city. Sometimes they come across in the paper. Family left, they come back, their 2 black walnut trees in their yard is gone. Because it's extremely valuable wood, sold in Europe as furniture and as gun stocks. Same too for ginseng. Ginseng is an adaptogen. That means it protects you on all kinds of different levels, from all kinds of different things. It's involved in a lot of research on longevity and having good health to the end of your life. It contains coumarins, which is like Humidin, blood thinners, to stop you from getting a stroke or heart attack. It contains ligands. Ligos means to pull. It pulls toxins out of your liver. It contains various sugars and triterpenoid saponins, which is a chemical that protects the immune system. It increases mental resiliency, good for students if they're studying, good for ADD, ADHD. Students studying for exams under a lot of stress, can't remember anything, make a tea for them out of it. It increases physical resiliency. I think a lot of fire departments are encouraging the use of that for their firemen, because the firemen got those erratic schedules, 3 days on, 3 days off, in the middle of the night they have to go someplace. If you're exercising, working out, especially martial arts, big in the martial arts community, even 40 years ago when I was practicing, for recovering from injuries and from being tired. If you watch the karate movies, you'll always see in one movie or the other, the master's bringing ginseng to the other master. Here, oh, thank you, as an act of reverence and respect, and also for his health. The exact mechanism ginseng works on is unknown, but we know it stimulates the immune system and helps recovery from chronic conditions and problems. It's good for stress and impotence. Josh, impotence. That's my friend Josh.